Hey everybody, Nick Stoia here with Stoia Wood Design, here to kick off another build series, which is going to be a little bit different than the other ones you've seen in the past. I'm actually joined by my wonderful wife, Victoria. You might have seen her in the background of some of the other videos that I've done in the past, but this one's really focused on us. So we are actually in the midst of designing and building our own kitchen for our dream home. As you can see here, we're getting pretty close to drywall, so I'm well underway, and we thought it'd be a great opportunity to show you really how Victoria designed the kitchen, how I built the kitchen, and then hopefully at the end we'll get a video tour by Victoria. Victoria, anything you want to add?
I used Home Designer Pro software to design the kitchen, and we'll put a picture of that design right here. And I'll also put a link to the software in the video description. I ended up using a month-to-month rental on the software, so you can do the same where you just rent it for however many months you need for the project that you're doing. It was a little bit of a learning curve, but it was really customizable, so I could get pretty specific with how I wanted the kitchen to look.
Awesome. Well, we hope you guys enjoyed the series. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome out to the shop for the kitchen build series. We are about to get started and want to lay the ground rules for part one of this episode. We're going to focus primarily on the lower cabinets as well as the island. The reason for this is one, I only bought material for the lower cabinets and island first, and two, we want to get these in place so we don't hold up the contractors with our floor as well as our countertops once they get the drywall in. So with that said, let's get started. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy. To start things off, I wanted to talk a little bit about the materials we are using for our kitchen build. Victoria did a great job designing this kitchen, and we decided to go with a two-tone type cabinet. All of the natural cabinets are actually quarter sawn white oak, and all of the white cabinets will be made out of solid maple. For the plywood for these cabinets, we went ahead and went with a UV pre-finished plywood just to speed up the process, and I think it gives it an overall clean look. For the hardware for our kitchen, we decided to spend a little extra money here and went with the Bloom soft close undermount drawer slides as well as the Bloom inset soft close door hinges. I really like how this turned out and I can't recommend it enough. Additionally, we also purchased some Rev-A-Shelf appliances for some spice racks that will be on either side of the stove, as well as a Lazy Susan in the corner cabinet, and then we also have a pull-out trash can. In terms of appliances, all of the appliances were included with the purchase of the home through our builder, with the exception of the kitchen sink, which I purchased off Amazon, as well as the faucet. I'll leave a link to that in the description, and the wine fridge. The wine fridge we did buy off Facebook Marketplace. Hey guys, just wanted to walk you through why I decided to use both my Makita cordless track saw as well as my SawStop table saw to break down my sheet goods for this project. And you've probably noticed in the video, I do have the SawStop crosscut sled, and you might have been wondering, why didn't I use that for the whole project to break down these sheet goods? Really the answer to that is twofold. One, that crosscut sled is great, but when I'm trying to break down 4x8 sheets, it is definitely a two-person job over at the table saw. And right now it's just me, so for safety reasons, it was better to just cut them down to more manageable sizes and then finish them off over at the table saw. Two, if you don't know already, plywood does have the factory edge. It's usually pretty good, but if you can get a straight rip with a track saw and then reference that on your table fence, it's just going to give you a more square frame overall. So those are primarily the two reasons. Just wanted to answer your questions. If you have any more, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. Let's get back to it. With all of my sheet goods broken down to their final dimension, it was time to move on to cutting the dados for each of the cabinets. To do this, I used my woodpecker's pocket rule to set the depth of my dado blade to 1/4 inch. After this was set, I used the same pocket rule to set the height of my toe kick, which would be 4 inches across the panel, as well as the edge of the panel, so I could reference that for the dado blade. Next, I moved on to drilling all the pocket holes for the lower cabinets. To do this, I used my Craig Foreman, and I cannot recommend this tool enough. It has saved me hours on this project alone. If you're interested, I'll leave a link in the description. With my pocket holes drilled, I moved on to cutting all of the toe kicks for my cabinets. As you can see here, I decided to make a little jig here to set back the toe kick 3 inches and the height at 4 inches. I then went ahead and traced the line and cut it with my jigsaw. I know there's probably a better and more accurate way to do this, but I feel like if you have a steady hand, you can't go wrong. Hey guys, out in the shop tonight, and we are on day 4 of the custom kitchen build, and I am ready to assemble all the lower boxes. I'm pretty pumped about it. In total, I have 43 pieces so far. I've got all my dados cut, all my pocket holes drilled. The only thing left to do is cut the runners for the top of each cabinet, and I'm just gonna grab from my stockpile and do those along the way. I didn't wanna try to plan that out and have those ready, so we'll just get that as we go along. Great thing about having a large space right now in the interim shop is I can put these cabinets together and set them up and make it look just like our kitchen and get a feel for the layout, and hopefully the wife likes it. So stay tuned and let's get into it. So I thought about this and realized you probably don't want to watch me put together 20 base cabinets, even though you are great if you've made it thus far. So I went ahead and just grabbed a clip of me putting together the base stove cabinet with 2 spice racks on each side. One thing I want to call out, when I first started out, I used pocket holes for the entire cabinet, and I've learned over time that you really only need your pocket holes for your face frames. You can get by with construction screws and countersinking, as well as a brad nail gun just to hold things in place. You're not going to see the sides or the back of the cabinet if you're putting in panels on, so take that into consideration. Can definitely save you some time. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't want to try to spend too much time planning out the runners for each cabinet. So I simply just grabbed from my stockpile, ripped down the boards to the correct width and length that I needed, and was able to throw them inside of each cabinet. I also did the same thing for the toe kicks on the bottom of the cabinets, which you'll see me put on here in the next clip. With all of our base cabinet boxes constructed, we started to lay them out on the shop floor just so we could get a feel for the overall kitchen and space. Up to this point, we hadn't determined exactly how large we wanted the island to be, so this really gave us that frame of reference that we could make that call as well as order the countertop. And with this in mind, this is going to conclude part one of our multi-part series where we show you how we designed, built, and installed our own custom kitchen. Please stay tuned for part two, which will be coming out here in the near future, where we focus on all the lower face frames as well as constructing the outer skeleton for the island before we take it to the house to get installed so we keep this project going. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is Nick Stoia with Stoia Wood Design. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and we'll see you in the next one.